That poor Milton, right, from Office Space. Oh my god. If him and I were having a conversation about work from home, although he is not a man of many words, if I recall, I don't think he would be a big fan of me saying that I think work from home is definitely going on the wayside. Um, I mean, I'm not here to make enemies. I know that a lot of people could be watching this. If you don't know me personally, I really hope you don't take offense to this. It's not intended to be that way. It's more of the, hey, here's what I am seeing from my perspective as a real estate agent in Chicago, working with my clients, working with my buyers, my sellers, me getting around to showings, what I see. And it's just an opportunity for you if you are, you know, I don't know, a manager or maybe, trying to figure out how to ensure that you have good, solid productivity, but you also have employees who are happy, right? It's a little bit of a balance. So, what have I been seeing then from my world, right? Of course, I work with people every day. I am out at meetings. I go to showings. Those are the biggest things that I'm doing, right? So, that means I'm going to and from places, scheduling with people. During the pandemic, it was just kind of funny because I was always living in a world where it's like, hey, you want to get together? Sure, I'm free. I can get a cup of coffee before work. I can maybe bounce out on my lunch break. Or if you want to meet afterwards, we can grab a drink or we can hang out or something like that. And of course, weekends. So that was pretty typical. Thus, most of my clients have that 9 to 5 schedule, which was totally fine. During pandemic, I started having people being like, "Hey, yeah, I can, get together." And granted, not right at like March or April, but as time kind of went on and the world started to reopen, we'd have our face masks on, of course, and we would maybe grab a coffee. And when I'd be out at showings, actually back in March and April of 2020, because remember, real estate did stay; it was deemed essential, and we were allowed to do showings, closing, selling, all that kind of stuff. Um, but I'd always meet with my buyers on site. I tried to prevent the Zoom thing. I know some of them they wanted to meet that way, and that was fine. So we would, but on site, seeing it, feeling it, touching it, doing it, understanding how we all work. And then, of course, kind of recapping a little bit. And that was able to be done digitally or through a call or whatever. And then, the world did start to slowly open up more. But this is about work from home. So it does affect everything because in real estate, a lot of people, it's where they live. It's what they need, transportation, all that kind of stuff. And just even me getting around the city, I do tend from time to time, if I'm going to a place that I'm going to have a lot of showings kind of together in my tour and I'm able to get to another place, I will take a divvy. Which is a bike sharing here in Chicago, and I will possibly even jump on, a Lime, which is a scooter sharing, or I'll jump on the train. Now, if I have, 10, 11, 15, 20 showings in a day, I am not doing that because that's impossible. And I'm taking my car. But then that means I'm sitting in traffic, which means if it's on a weekday, a lot of people are going to work. So that's where I'm trying to get at. If you ride the train, you're going to see a lot of people wearing suits. They're going to have their bags on. They're going to have whatever carriers, messenger bags, whatever that has, laptops, so on and so forth. If you go into areas where there's a lot of commercial setting, a lot of business offices, you're going to see people going out to lunch. Again, be pretty crowded. You go back just, maybe 6 months, definitely a year ago, are pretty quiet. And you have new places popping up. New places are not popping up because they feel like there's no opportunity. Popping up because they know that people are coming back out. So you have to look at your own business, right? What you're doing. A couple things to keep in mind is if you were able to work remote before COVID, before the pandemic, then there's a good chance that that's intact still, right? Because maybe you are part of a company that you have remote setups. Maybe you are overseeing different regions, so you have somebody on the ground there, right? That's just the way it's going to be. So you do a lot of work from home, but even then, you're probably still going on site somewhere. There might be even a small remote office. Maybe you have to go into stores or into places or places of business to meet clients. Um, but those are the kind of things that if it was before, it was the ones that during COVID, I feel like I met people who are like, I can work from anywhere. I'm like, but were you able to before? Is this the byproduct? Is this over a circumstance? And they say like, yeah, but we're acclimating really well. When you're going through stresses, challenges, things are changing. Obviously, the workforce has changed. The economic scene has changed. We're in a, if you wanted to say yes or no, but quote unquote recession. It's what goes on during the challenging times is when the culture of the company really shines through. And if you're not comfortable with other people, if you're not around them, if you're not seeing their emotion, what they're going through, what they need help with in a personal, in person way, it doesn't lead to success. And you're not going to see it today, but it'll happen in the future, right? So, I mean, those are the kind of things that we all have to kind of think about. And when, we live in the moment for most of us as a real estate agent, I do see what's coming up next and how that's going to affect your life and how we can implement and incorporate that now. But we do want to keep in mind that, you know, if you are not always in an office, there's a good chance you will be. And I know people are like dreading that. They're like, that's not what I want to hear. And there's a lot of people who said, I need to be back in the office. I wish I would open up. But, that takes resources. Companies have tried to figure out, what they want to do long term. Because if we do have to go back into some sort of lockdown state and it does linger again, what are you paying all that rent for, right? All that overhead that's unnecessary and where it's going, who knows? So the other things we got to keep in mind is when you have new employees, onboarding them, doing it in person is so much easier. They get to see, touch see the place, understand people, get an idea, have a feel for things. New challenges when they come up, what you're going to do to improve things, to fix things, to create opportunity rather than focusing on the threats and the issues. And then just Zoom in itself. How many times have you gotten on a call? Somebody's a little bit late. They too many Zoom calls, or maybe they're in person and now they're having to use their phone. And they're doing it from the car and they're not really focused on the meeting. They're not really focused on what they need to talk about. It happens a lot. Or there's a dog in the background barking or a bird chirping or voice, lost or whatever. So those are just, again, a few things. Hey, I know there's a lot of haters on this. So there is good from it, right? You do have some tasks that you just need to get done from home or from your own place or from anywhere that you can just be by yourself to get them done, right? We have a lot of those kind of tasks. We all do. It doesn't matter the job. And, especially if you're the type of person, I'm doing this, from a computer that if you're going to sit there and you could do it all day and that's your job, maybe you're a programmer or a coder. Do you really want to have to go into an office every day where you just basically be throwing in your bag, getting on the train, getting off the train, setting up at a desk, going home, doing that, wash, repeat, rinse, repeat, do over and over? Yeah, I get it. Then you just feel like you're wasting time, money, whatever. So there's a lot of value there. And of course, just having less people on the road for things that maybe it's like that person I just mentioned. Yeah, if I can get to where I need to get quicker and help my clients faster because somebody does not need to really be on the road, please get off the road. And I'm sure you're like, yes, that's exactly what I need. So, anyways, those are some of the things that I'm seeing from my perspective. It does affect my industry, my buyers, my sellers, how I position the sellers, or position my buyers with the sellers, how I position the sellers with the potential buyers, vice versa. And it's super critical. It's important to just have a sense of where business is going because that's how you're going to plan your business. Maybe you are in a field that does something that it trickles down to that, and you just want to make sure you know where things are heading. So if you see reports, if you see things, remember where those stats came from, who took the sample, who the author is. Are they a little bit biased? Because remember, there's a good chance they have the ability to easily work from home. So yeah, take that into consideration. But yeah, guys, I always love any thoughts. I'll throw this on social. Go ahead, reach out to me. And yeah, work from home. Is it alive? Yes. Is it going to continue to be in the way that people thought it would be? Probably not. So I'd love to hear how it goes over the next couple months and years.